Christine, good morning. My name is Ash Singh. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for meeting with us, Ash. I'm happy that you want to learn more about Anodunos, our company.
Yes.
Anodunos is Greek for without pain. We offer stress and pain management that is both holistic and drug-free. Our programs provide assessment, education, and treatment, and we are currently in our beta with our MVP. The US population is not well with 126 million people in pain. Our healthcare system is based on crisis management and prescribing opioids. Patients looking to address the root causes of their challenge are confused about how to navigate all the other options. Our team has a combined 100+ years of experience running healthcare and integrated healing businesses. Science shows exponential benefits when we join modern science and evidence-based ancient healing. We act as our clients' wellness GPS. A combination of in-person and virtual providers makes it convenient for people to receive multiple types of care from collaborating practitioners. We are asking for $1 million to expand customer acquisition activities, transition to B2B, and upgrade our business operations.
Okay. Christine, I think you did that in a minute. Congratulations.
I'm a runner, Ash. You got that clock in your head.
and I always find, people in New York value people's time really well, right? They get straight to the point, right? That's what I love about the East Coast, right, of the U.S. So, Christine, first of all, people in the crowd, right, feel free to give the feedback to Christine, right? There's different components. What her pitch was, did it excite you? Was it clear what she's doing? Was the value proposition clear and coherent, right? So, Christine, when we think about, I always I want to make I get it right. Anodunos. Am I pronouncing it right? Anodunos?
Well, the actual Greek, they put a TH in there, Anodunos, but what we're keeping is
Anodunos.
Yes, but we're keeping it the anglicized, unless we have Greek.
Anodunos. No, I'm not Greek, but Anodunos.
Yes.
I will try to get that right. Okay. So how much are you raising, Christine? You need money.
We want to raise $1 million, and
$1 million.
Yes.
$1 million. And you were very clear about what you're using the money for, right? You're using it for sales. You said you're transitioning to B2B, correct?
Yes.
What else are you using the money for?
The other was to upgrade our business operations, because we have all these different practitioners. We need to get them all in communication with each other, as well as with the clients.
Got it. All right. So here's my view, Christine. I think that, first of all, what you're working on is fantastic. It is something that the world definitely needs, right? We do recognize that the medical world over the last, since like prescription drugs took over, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make financial sense for a doctor to not prescribe medication, okay? And what's happened with that is it's taken it through to the next level, where these opioid addictions and short-term and the cost of medication is so high, the cost of healthcare is so high, that you end up being in a situation where you only want to get treatment when it's a real big problem, right? And so, if I understand correctly, Anodunos, did I get that one right? Did I get it right? No, better? Am I getting close? Anodunos. Okay, we should put like a K in Anodunos.
I'm trusting one of my Greek dance friends. She gave me a lesson last week.
Anodunos. So Anodunos, basically, if I understand correctly about where I see you fitting in, is there is a market segment. So you talked about 126 million people in the U.S., right? That's almost half of them, okay? More than a third are suffering with like chronic illness. Is that what you're saying? Chronic?
A combination of pain and emotional, like stress levels that are causing pain.
Right.
So both together.
And you talked about evidence-based ancient healing.
Yes, there's a lot of studies. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right. And so when I look at what you're doing, right, I'll tell you how I would package what you're doing. Okay. Mm-hmm. because I think the problem solution and piquing the interest is important, right, Christine? Because a lot of people are doing telemedicine, and we've heard those pitches over and over again, right? And I don't want you to fall into the trap of another telemedicine company, okay? Because it's, I mean, it's great that people are doing telemedicine, but it's been done to death now. When I look at what you're doing, I see the opportunity. We're talking about 2021 now, Christine, and you talk about, there's 120 plus million Americans that are suffering from emotional and chronic pain. And what you're saying to me is that you have a solution that is more of a preventative, it's a preventative solution. And based on all of the research around your evidence based ancient healing from around the world. It could be stuff from India, it could be stuff from Greece, it could be stuff from any country. You've packaged this together and you're able to provide alternative solutions for everyday Americans at 1/10 or 1/50th of the cost of going and getting prescription drugs. And what that does is that it lowers the cost of healthcare drastically, and it brings better solutions up. Is that right, Christine?
Yeah, that's correct.
Now, Christine, the thing that I felt that was missing, okay, in 2021, a lot of people talk about artificial intelligence, AI, okay? But with what you're doing, your product, you didn't bring up artificial intelligence at all, right? This idea of machine learning, the way that if you have all this evidence-based information, right, you can have thousands and thousands of treatments together. This is where AI really thrives because it can understand that there's Christine who has this chronic challenge and she's in New York and she lives in a small condominium in New York City and the weather is like this and she is Greek and she eats this type of food. Let me recommend this ancient healing thing, okay? Versus Ash, whose parents are Indian and they're in Canada, so he has, the palate and the taste, and he's got access to Indian healing. Okay, and so that didn't come out, Christine.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think that's where the magic would happen. You would just pull out your phone, and they would understand it, and you would start getting these recommendations. And the AI would have to use its machine algorithm to make sure it finds a solution to you, or it doesn't stop. Okay. Because that's the other thing too. Going to a doctor and asking over and over and over again doesn't work in 2021. It's too expensive. You can't talk to a doctor anymore. And that's what I think, Christine, when we were thinking about your product, this is what I think it is. What are your thoughts on what I just said, Christine? Does that make sense?
It does, except for the fact that when we talk about modern brain science, part of what addresses actual chronic pain is the person feeling really safe and cared for and individualized, and that their history is so different from, I'm not sure AI would be able to, in terms of the pain, not I know what you're saying in terms of overall health. And what I would say is what you described would be step 2.
Got it.
Like maybe after a 12-week program, then we would provide this other.
Sure. Yeah. Because then you get scale, right, Christine? Because
yeah.
in a situation where you can provide like 12 months of care. Okay.
Yes.
And that, the idea, what you just mentioned about feeling individual, like an individual, that can happen from a doctor, like a practitioner, but it can also happen from a peer-to-peer group as well.
Yes.
Right. And you can own that network. And that's a cheaper thing to do because I've gone through this pain and now I'm going to pass it forward with Christine and give her a bit of my time and make her feel special. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
So that's kind of my view, Christine, in terms of packaging it. Okay.
Yeah, that expands it to.
Now, like everything else, I have to go myself.
Yeah, we were wondering what happens after the program. So that's a good. It's not just scalability; it's the continuity.
Yes. So, Christine, like everything else, I have to now pitch your idea to you and embarrass myself if I get it wrong. Anodunos. Did I get the name right?
No,
okay. All right. I'm hitting the top. You can introduce yourself. Anodunos. Okay. Feel free to introduce. So let me just make sure you're going to now be the investor. Okay. So just to kind of frame it up for everyone else as well. Yeah, we switch gears now. What's going to happen is Christine, I'm hearing this pitch from you from the first time. Okay, you were having this interaction to, and so I've taken a couple of notes on this trusty pink piece of paper, which. And what's going to happen is once I hit the top, you get to introduce yourself as an investor. You get to be the Michael Bloomberg of New York. Okay, you can be Mrs. Bloomberg if you'd like. You can be the richest person. You know what I mean? But you only have 1 minute to listen to me speak about what we're trying to do. Okay, so we're hitting the top right now. As we hit the top, feel free to introduce yourself, and we'll get started. All right, Christine, over to you.
Okay. Hi, Ash. I'm Michael Bloomberg's daughter, Christine Bloomberg. Nice to meet you today.
Nice to meet you, Christine. Thank you for making time. My name is Ash Singh, and I'm from the Anodunos team. As you might know, healthcare is a big issue, right? And Michael Bloomberg thinks it has worked really heavily on trying to solve this problem. But you might not know this, but over 120 million Americans are suffering from emotional and some form of chronic illness. And the reality is that in 2021, we're still going back to prescription medicine, quick solutions that are not driving results. So what we've done is we've looked at research, and we've gotten a host of people together, practitioners that have leveraged evidence-based ancient healing methodologies to build an overall solution to be able to provide a platform for people to get care that doesn't involve drugs and does not involve any of the challenges that are causing the stress on the healthcare system today. Our goal is to be able to create a nice package solution, leveraging artificial intelligence to allow anyone in the United States to get access to early treatment at almost at 1/10 or 1/50th of the price that they might pay today to go to a doctor. We'd love to talk to you a little bit more on how we could get this off the ground. Would you have time for a coffee to talk about how we can take this to the next level?
Absolutely. Maybe an herbal tea.
Herbal tea, right? We got a decaf or something like that. So what I tried to do, I was a little bit slow in the beginning, right? So I think I was probably 70 seconds on that pitch. But what I wanted to do was get into that evidence-based and talk about the true problem, right? And what we want to do, Christine, is we got to get to the problem. We have to know, Christine, how expensive healthcare is in the US, okay? And the reality is if you paint that picture, there's going to be several providers that are just going to have AI powered, bots, systems, mixed reality solutions for people. And I think you're the one who's going to make it happen, right? And then so I want that to really come out and make it work, right? So let's look at that. And Christine, let's spend a little bit of time thinking about how we can blend some of these AI components, because I think if you package that together, it's going to make your elevator pitch to investors a lot stronger. Okay. And I think getting $1 million in New York for what you're trying to do should not be that difficult as well. Okay. Your timing as well is good right now. Okay. So we'll try to make sure we get your investor list to focus on people, investors in New York, right? New York, the VC community is pretty strong there. And I think everything coming back online, I think the VCs are in a good mood. So when a VC is in a good mood, you ask for money, right?
Yep.
So, but thanks, Christine. Love what you're working on, and let's spend a little bit of time making sure we can help you with the modeling around how to get the AI components going, because it's a lot of fun to build that.
Thanks, Ash.
Excellent. My pleasure, Christine. Always a pleasure to see you. Okay.